Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jack, and as you may or may not know, today they officially released a trailer for Infinite Warfare, as well as a few hours later, they actually did a little bit of a stream talking a little bit about campaign, a little bit about multiplayer, and a little bit about zombies, surprisingly. Now, taken from the information that we've been given, which is very little, especially in terms of multiplayer, when you do a little bit of digging and thinking, you actually end up with a little bit more information than what it may seem like. And I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to talk about my first speculations for multiplayer. And to me, these speculations absolutely make sense from what's been confirmed so far. And without further ado, now let's get into this. Now, from the stream as well as the trailer, you get to learn a few tidbits here and there. But I'm gonna start with the very first thing. Now, it is obvious right now that these guys, Infinity Ward, they're following Treyarch. First of all, they're obviously bringing back zombies right now. What does that have to do with multiplayer? Well, the thing is, if they are following in Treyarch's footsteps, it is a step in the right direction. Now, the reason is simply because, well, let's face it, out of the three guys that make Call of Duty, which is Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, Treyarch is number one, and they've also been the most successful also in terms of numbers as well. They sell more, they get better audience response, more replay value, etc., right? So all in all, it's a step in the right direction, and that is actually a big thing for them simply because of the fact that they admitted it as well. And what I mean by this is by the maps. They've kind of said that they're taking the Treyarch formula when it comes to the maps. And the first thing that popped to my mind was, okay, 3-lane maps. And this is definitely a good thing. 3-lane maps also means that the gameplay is going to be fun. The map sizes are going to be correct. That will go in line with the movement. And also, a good map also means good spawns for the most part. Because in my opinion, the Treyarch spawn, not the Treyarch spawn, excuse me, the Infinity Ward spawns have always been a little iffy. Especially in Ghosts. In Ghosts, the spawns were pretty much unpredictable. They added a lot more spawn points, and plus the maps were huge, and I don't know, it almost kind of created chaos in a sense. Not Advanced Warfare chaos, but still chaos in a sense, you know, because spawns need to be somewhat predictable. You don't know exactly where the enemy's going to be, but you want to have a good idea of where they're spawning, so therefore, you know, you add technique to the thing. You don't want to add chaos, so that's a good thing. And another thing that they are doing right as well is that they've also mentioned that, like, the maps, there's going to be so many different settings, and maps are going to be like on different planets and stuff, and that is actually a good thing because one of the things that is part of the COD formula that makes Call of Duty so popular in the first place is variety. And as much as it may be hard to believe, variety in terms of multiplayer maps is something that is very good. You want to feel like you're in a different setting every single time because it's going to keep things fresh, it's going to keep things interesting, and you know, the last thing you want to do is play on a map that feels so similar. You don't want to play on a map like on so many different on like a handful of maps that feel so similar to one another. You want variety while keeping the formula intact, so to speak. So that is another thing that in my opinion that deserves a nod. And one other thing, as far as the COD formula is concerned, one of the things that the community is very, very passionate about and very vocal about is the COD formula itself, which is boots on the ground. Now, is boots on the ground so important to the community? And I'll tell you why. Because Call of Duty has this thing called gun-on-gun gameplay, and the thing is, if you have too much of a different movement system, what ends up happening is you're taking away from the gun-on-gun gameplay. There's so many people that I know on my friends list and on my friends' friends lists that basically skipped out on Advanced Warfare simply because it did not feel like Call of Duty to them, and they didn't play it. It didn't feel like Call of Duty, and they just skipped it. They didn't play it at all in terms of multiplayer, or even the game in general, for that matter. So it didn't feel like Call of Duty because it took too much away from that. There was no gun-on-gun. It was too different. And I'm not trying to dog Sledgehammer by saying that that's what Advanced Warfare did wrong and all that, but I mean, there's a lot of the COD formula taken out of Advanced Warfare, with all due respect. So by keeping most of the gameplay boots on the ground, you are basically keeping the COD formula intact, which is gun-on-gun gameplay. You want to have gunfights. It keeps things exciting. It keeps things engaging, and you know, it's and the person that has better aim as well as good reaction and knowledge is going to be the one that's going to be on top, and that is part of what makes the COD formula the COD formula. It's the variety, it's the gun-on-gun, and the balance, and all these other different things that people like. So that is why that is extremely important. Now, from the trailer, even though we've seen it in the campaign that there's going to be some like thrust jumping or whatnot, we still don't know how much of that is going to be in multiplayer. Is it going to be buffed up? Is it going to be toned down? Or is it going to be kept the same? But from what I gathered from the stream, because they did a little bit of a stream after the reveal trailer or whatnot, it really seemed that they are basically, they've been listening to the community. One of the reasons is because they're following Treyarch. Another reason is because of the zombies that they've implemented, because they've never done zombies, so they're doing their own take. And the formula, and the thing is the population, the Call of Duty population, the community, they want zombies. And the fact that these guys get to do their own version of it is great. Now, what does this have to do with multiplayer? Again, it goes back to the community. If the community is going to be vocal about the movement system and the gun-on-gun gameplay, the COD formula, so to speak, and all these things, they are listening. They are listening. So this is a good thing. So that means we're going to get more of what we want. Now, am I saying that this is going to be the best COD since sliced bread? No, absolutely not. It could still, you know, but the thing is, they're taking, from what we've been given so far, they are taking a step in the right direction. Another thing that is very important is color palettes. It seems like they're taking a step away from that whole bleached color thing look, which is great, simply because of the fact that, well, when you're playing in a multiplayer match, for instance, okay, you got to be able to tell the difference between the enemy and the environment. And sometimes in previous games, the enemy used to blend in so well to the environment that they looked invisible, and that is partially game breaking in my opinion. So as long as the color palettes are good and people are able to easily distinguish, you know, the enemy from the environment, that is a plus. Very, very important for multiplayer. What else did I want to talk about? The movement system. Again, we don't know how much it's going to be. Gun-on-gun needs to be intact, which goes well with the movement system. So as long as they keep it mostly boots on the ground, I think it's a winning formula. 3-lane maps is definitely a good thing from what they've been hinting at and from what they said. And again, following Treyarch's movements, it's a good thing. You know, it's Treyarch are the best. So basically, you know, you follow who the best is. You take what works, you discard what doesn't work, and you add in your own little flavor to it. For instance, let me give you an example. Okay, I make a killer Alfredo sauce, and I add my own few recipes to it to give it a little bit of a different feel. But when you have it, you have absolutely no doubt that it's Alfredo sauce. So in other words, you can add in a few different things, but in the Call of Duty community's eyes, they want, when they play this game, they want to, without a shadow of a doubt, they want to know and feel that it plays like Call of Duty. It's simple as that. So, out of all these things that we've been shown in the from what it's been said on stream that they had, as far, and the very, very little that's been shown in the trailer. For the most part, more often than not, it looks like they're headed in the right direction. And from the stream as well, it looks like that they don't want to piss the community off. And of course, it's only going to be made for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. From the looks of things, that's for sure. So that's good. And from everything that we're going to be getting, including the remastered version of the original Modern Warfare, I think that they definitely have the manpower, because they also have to worry about DLC. So. It's all looking pretty good so far. I'm going to be remaining optimistic about this, and that is my take on the multiplayer speculation. E3 is about a month away, and last year for Black Ops 3 we were given our first glimpse of multiplayer during E3, and it looks like they're definitely going to be doing that this year too. So there's going to be more, I guess, to be learned come E3. So that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed the video, and what do you think? What do you guys think is, what's your thoughts on the whole multiplayer and on the trailer? Let me know. And if you like the video, let me know. And if you don't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.